What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. There's a lot of content out there trying to tell you how to go into the new year, ways to start your year off on the right foot, formulas and theories to follow on how to set up each quarter and what to focus on. There's also the opposite. People telling you January is not the time to start new things, calling it wintering, and how most things don't grow in the winter. For someone with good intentions who is trying to start off their year right, you will have no difficulties finding a YouTube video, podcast, or memes that will appeal to you. I'm not here for that. Though I can tell you a lot of things that I'm trying to tell myself, none of them will matter. And I'm here to tell you what will matter. I'll tell you a quick story about my wall of quotes that we had in our Cali apartment that will illustrate the point of what matters. My girl has beautiful handwriting, so she took a bunch of colored construction papers and wrote a quote on each one. And we had an entire wall full of quotes to be reminded by. They varied from self-help to almost poetry. Now, to be honest, like anything else in life, you get used to the wall and stop looking at the quotes. But every now and then, I would be lost in thought and stare at the wall and find a quote and ponder on it. I would let the moment draw my attention to any one of the 50 papers on the wall, almost without intention. And one time, one of my friends was over and he asked me which one of them was my favorite quote. And the thing I pointed to was something that was posted all the way at the top of the wall, almost like the rest of the quotes were an umbrella under it. And it said, "The best quote is the one you apply." In a sense, it negated the importance of the quantity of quotes, the fact that there was a plethora of wisdom available right on the wall. You could literally pick any one of them and spend your whole life trying to live by it, and you would be better off for it. Literally, you could pick any and just meditate on it, and I would be willing to bet that it would make you a better person just having assimilated any of those sayings into your being. The best quote is the one you apply. And it brings me back to my point, because I wanted to do this podcast about the types of questions you should ask yourself, or the types of things you should attempt to do this year. But then I realized none of it matters unless you carry it. And you carry it daily. And you carry it into every decision. And you carry it into every moment. And those are the only things that will matter. You can have all the wisdom in the world, all the knowledge, ask yourself all the right questions and come up with all the right answers. But if you don't carry them with you, they make very little difference in how you show up in the world. You are still out of frame. The reason why many of us don't end up having the year we plan out to have, because we fail to carry the energy that comes in the beginning into the rest of the year. We fail to carry the motivation, the feeling, the renewed belief, the willingness to try again. We fail to carry that with us through each day and then weeks and months. It can be anything, something simple that you are working on, or something grand. We all know the things we need to work on. If you just sat with yourself for 5 minutes, you would know all the things that you are not doing that you know you should be doing that would make your life just a little bit less miserable. You might not have complete clarity on the steps to take. You might not have the how, but you know the what and probably the why. So why do most of us fail by mid-year, and then when the next year starts, we look outside again for formulas and tips and tricks and directions for what we already know? Because you are not yet living in the frame of what it is that you desire. You are living in conflict with it, incompatible with it. It has not yet become you. And so it feels like an effort to attain, to sustain. This is essentially identity shift. And many people say that like it's some magical thing to have happen to you. But it really comes down to asking yourself, what would a person who has the life that I want, the thing that I want, the fill in the blank here that I want, what would a person like that do, or how would they behave? And it's not about asking yourself that once. It's about can you carry that question around with you into every context so that every choice you make is just aligned with that identity that you want to have? It's like that example that people give of smokers. A non-smoker, when offered a cigarette, would say, I don't smoke. A smoker who is trying to quit might say, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. One still identifies as a smoker who is trying to quit. The other is just a non-smoker, so of course, wouldn't smoke a cigarette, wouldn't take one if offered. The more you can carry the identity around with you, the easier the choices become. Almost as if the more you carry it around with you, the easier it carries you and carries you through. Because, of course, you can make the efforts to be healthy, to be rich, to be happy. You can learn new tactics, new ways of thinking. But the best one will be the one you apply, the one that you carry around with you everywhere, the frame of mind you see the world through, the question you filter all your answers through. And then, not only will you define this year, it might be the year that defines the rest of your life. I love you, family. Stay true always. I see you on the next show.